Welcome to So Summit 2020. In this panel discussion, we're going to focus on young entrepreneurship and early startup battles. And joining us today are two young and dynamic entrepreneurs from across the globe. Maneesh Vallurupalli, a serial entrepreneur, author, keynote speaker, nonprofit executive, activist, and advocate for youth entrepreneurship. After successfully building two globally recognized nonprofit organizations that have impacted thousands around the globe, he currently serves as a CEO of Voltum Corporation, a technology company focusing on the future of innovation. Manish joins us from Virginia. We also have with us Marcus Stubrin, who comes from a family of politicians but didn't really find himself in that field. He found his passion in the startup world. Inspired by experiences abroad, he decided to take the challenge of building a team and developing a natural energy boost based on organic yerba mate as a sustainable solution for the earth and for everyone's health. Marcus joins us from Argentina. Thank you for joining us, gentlemen. So,
Thank
Manish,
you for the introduction.
pleasure. Manish, let's kickstart by asking you, what is the acting force, according to you, responsible for any entrepreneur to start their own business? Can you share that particular moment with us?
Yeah, sure. So the acting force for me would probably motivation and interest. So obviously motivation, because if you're not motivated, then especially like when you're an entrepreneur, then you're not going to want to pursue that business or to the next level. And if you don't have motivation in anything that you do, then you're not going to really want to continue. And I think motivation really plays a key role in business growth and creating a sustainable company. And I think interest also plays a very heavy role because, for example, like Khan Academy, it was built out of an interest for teaching.
Yeah.
And for example, like Elon Musk, like he wants to colonize Mars. So that's what keeps him going. And for me specifically, like I want to bring in like artificial intelligence and autonomous robots to help explore like the deep ocean or anything that can help humans.
So it's interest and your motivation to move forward in that sphere.
Yeah.
Marcus?
Well, I think I agree with Manish. In my personal experience, the active force to start with this journey was the motivation to build a conscious community. The personal empowerment feeling when creating something new that adds value to a community while making a positive impact to the planet. That would be my answer.
Great. So, two dynamic entrepreneurs with varied interests joining us and giving their input. So, in this same line of thought, gentlemen, Marcus, maybe starting with you, let me ask you, what, according to you, are the challenges that have to be taken seriously when you are a young entrepreneur? When you're starting afresh, you have the zeal and curiousness and enthusiasm. You might miss out on considering challenges that might come up. So, what, according to you, would be the challenges that need to be taken into consideration?
Well, I think one of the greatest challenges is to admit that you cannot build something big just by your own, and that you need to build a team. It's really hard to achieve the mission and the purpose of a project just by yourself. And maybe if you do, it would take too much time or too much resources. So the greatest challenge, I would say, is to understand that you need to build a team.
Lovely. And Manish, what, according to you, would be the challenges that need to be taken seriously when you are a young entrepreneur?
Yeah, so when you're a young entrepreneur, like I guess like as young as I am, people usually like underestimate you, and then they want to like you need to like justify yourself. So I think the biggest challenge for me was underestimation and justification. And like I'd say especially below age 21, when people like underestimate your capabilities as you're still young, like inexperienced and uneducated as well, and like many other factors that contribute to them like I guess like challenging you, and you just need to I guess prove yourself, and especially if you want to find clients, partners, or even investors. And I guess justification is that you just have to justify yourself on why you're an entrepreneur at a very young age. Like at this time, like many people are like getting educated in high school and stuff, and many people ask me, like, what are your plans after high school? Because like in this era, like it's become a very common stigma for like dropping out and at like dropping out of college or like not going to college. So I think I really need to justify that I'm continuing my education, but still pursuing entrepreneurship from a very young age.
Both of you have an inclination towards entrepreneurship. And then another area that both of you have an inclination towards is um, social entrepreneurship or community. That holds key value for both of you. Manish, according to you, is social entrepreneurship important for the next generation?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, social entrepreneurship. So you should want to bring solutions to like the social values or culture or even environmental issues that's become very like in the day. But social entrepreneurship is very important because next generation it consists of like very many opportunities to better the world, and especially if you want to like help people through like either technology or like AI, which is what's coming, then you would need to pursue social entrepreneurship because that you can reach the consumer directly. And I think, I guess, as like a motivational factor, it can also bring in the most profit because like it impacts the consumer directly.
Correct, an absolutely valid point. Marcus, what would be your point of view on this?
Yeah, I agree with Manish as well. I think social entrepreneurship is important for sustainable development in this post-COVID-19 world. We need more and more social entrepreneurs, and also I think every single startup must create a social impact regardless of the field they are in. Even if you are, for example, a fintech, your solution needs to make a social impact, and if it doesn't, then you're not going to the right direction,
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your inputs on this, Marcus and Manish. Moving ahead, um, if I had to ask both of you, if you could go back and maybe consider or kind of relive some questions that all young entrepreneurs would need to answer for themselves. Marcus, what would that be according to you?
Well, I think it's really important to understand the foundationals of your project, the purpose, the mission, the vision. Where do you see this project in 5 years, in 10 years? And also be very critical on what are my skills, what are my weaknesses, and how should I build this team that I mentioned before in order to achieve the goals of the stage I am on or the project is on, and what is the next stage based on the purpose that I'm pursuing.
And Manish?
So I think the first question that you should ask yourself when you're a young entrepreneur is that like, what's your motive and why are you doing this? Because like you should either want to like better the world or you should want to solve a problem in order to make this like a big venture. And then you should ask yourself, obviously, like what are your strengths and weaknesses? Because you should get as much help as you need in the entrepreneur world. And then you have to ask yourself, like, does your idea have support and will it like, is it feasible in the world? And are you willing to, most importantly, invest your time into this idea? Because you could be doing something else and that can be your opportunity cost. So like what you should also analyze, like what are your opportunity cost and what is my next step?
So quite a view, quite a variety of questions. Your why are you doing this? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Do you have support? If you don't, what could be the way out? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Manish, and thank you, Marcus. Now let's shifting gears. I want to ask you, what is most important for entrepreneurs when starting their business? What is the most significant factor?
Oh, are we
You
starting?
asking me?
We can start with you, Marcus.
Okay, what I would tell to a young entrepreneur that is beginning is don't be afraid to share your idea and ask for feedback from friends, from entrepreneurs, from mentors. Never underestimate the opinion of anyone, because the person you never expect is going to give you that feedback that will get you to the solution you're looking for. Also, try to validate your hypothesis as fast and as cheap as you can. And I come again with the same important thing, that is building a team. Building a team is key.
Building a key for you building a team is the key for you.
Yeah.
Great. Manish, what would your inputs be on this? What do you think are the most significant, what are the most important for entrepreneurs when starting their business?
I think the first and foremost would be a clear vision, because if you don't see a vision for your company, you're not going to want to move forward with your idea. And you should also see yourself where you're going to be in, I guess, like 10 years, because the value of the company should be the most important. And if the value does not like align with the long-term goal, then you cannot grow the company.
So vision and team. Very interesting perspectives from both of you. All right, thank you for that. And Manish, let me start off by asking you, how can we unlock the key to developing the next generation of business leaders?
So I think probably encouraging them to help people realize problems that need to be solved. So like this will bring many into like entrepreneurship, or like a sense of alertness, and it's gonna be what's gonna help them like take action. And in this day and age, I think many youth are self-starters themselves. Like I see many nonprofits, youth-led, and also many youth-led startups coming up as well. And I think that's a very important trait in this world, because if they realize that there are problems in society or like the environment, and they take action, then they can become like business leaders themselves and execute very unique ideas.
Great. And Marcus, what would be your input to this? How do you think we can unlock the key to developing the next generation of business leaders?
Okay, beyond building a team, no, I'm kidding. I think the key word in this one is collaborate. I think this new world that we are trying to shape among the young leaders needs to have a strong spirit of collaboration among the different actors of the environment, the entrepreneurial environment. So yeah, that's the word I would choose for this answer.
Thank you, Marcus. Marcus, one final question. Would you like to share an experience of your startup journey that you think could help motivate our audience? Maybe a challenge you faced, or a lesson you learned, or what was it like? One experience from your startup journey.
Sure. Yeah. Well, Matecaps created packaging-free yerba caps to enjoy in a multi-use reusable bottle as a sustainable source of clean energy and focus. We wanted to develop a sustainable product to energize our community, a conscious community. So we just finished our first Kickstarter campaign and have raised $32,000 from 660 backers from all over the world. So this means that we're going to manufacture our first batch, but also we're going to plant 660 native trees back into the Amazon, and we're going to help social women entrepreneurs from the land of Yerba Mate in Misiones. So I think it's really awesome how we are making a triple impact from our very first commercial journey. This first experience helped us earn a market validation, and now it's time to deliver those products and process that feedback from the clients, so then we can get ready to scale.
Beautiful balance of people, profits, and environment.
It's totally possible.
Thank you for sharing that, Marcus. Manish, what, according to you, an experience from your startup journey that you think will inspire our audience?
So I guess my journey, probably I think I stated this at the beginning of the panel too. Underestimation. Of course, if you're a youth entrepreneur, then people will underestimate you. And I do have a story about that. And second one is also, I guess, finding clients because they also don't really trust a young
Yeah.
entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So in underestimation, I have this story from the Entrepreneurs where like I was running my first very internship program. And during the internship program, like I posted online many sources. And in like you can put out like comments and stuff. And many adults they were like, why are you running internship program? You can't really teach anything to others. So, and at the end of the feedback like that I got from the interns, like apparently they learned a lot. It's content creation and marketing internship. So that really made me happy because I was able to prove all those adults wrong. And in second, in like Voltum, my clients, like I was able to get like one client at the beginning, which was like I guess very like happy for me because your first client is always
First light is always
like
special.
yeah, it's like the first goal that you meet. And then once I started getting my second and third client, like that was when it also like started up.
Brilliant. Thank you, Manish, and thank you, Marcus. So, keywords being socially responsible, doing something for the society, a beautiful balance of teamwork, collaboration, people, environment, and getting your facts about yourself right, your strengths and weaknesses. What a brilliant session it has been, Manish and Marcus. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing with us your experience. I'm sure a lot of young entrepreneurs have brilliant takeaways from this session. Thank you very much, gentlemen.